Welcome to session 2 in module 2. Types and generations of computers. Types and generations of computers. So first we will consider types of computers. So you can see the list: wearable computer, embedded computer, personal digital assistant, smartphone, tablet, head-mounted displays, thin client. These are one set of computers. Actually, we cannot say they are computers, but they have some features. What are those features? We'll see. The next set of computers are notebook computer, laptop computer, desktop computer, workstation, server, supercomputer, mainframe computer. These are another set of computers. Which were used or which are being used nowadays. As a general purpose computers. As computers basically. Again, because few computers are used for some specific applications, but nevertheless we can call them as general purpose only. And quantum computer and molecular computer are still at research stage. Means quantum computers are available, molecular computers are not available, but they are not in wide use. Even quantum computers are not in wide use. So these are the set of computers, list of computers, or types of computers. We'll go one by one. Wearable computer. As the name indicates, you can wear them. Wearable computer, something like your wristwatch. So they are the wearable computers. They get attached to your body usually. At least they come in close proximity with your body. So they are generally attached to your body. And they have some fixed programs. And they are used for some fixed purpose. And those fixed programs you can activate and they will be running. But you cannot load other programs into that one. To those wearable computers, you cannot load other programs. There will be a program that is preloaded, and you can only make use of that preloaded program, or maybe programs, but they are preloaded. You cannot load programs on your own. So examples are pulse rate monitoring devices, blood pressure monitoring devices, oxygen level monitoring devices, which are very famous nowadays because of corona. All these can be called as wearable devices or fixed use computers. So for using them, you have to generally wear them. Next, embedded computers, as the name indicates, embedded. So that means they are embedded inside some device. That computer itself is embedded into some device. So definitely, if you want to embed it, means it should be very small. That means it will have definitely limited functionality. But nevertheless, it will be embedded into some other device, like toys. We have a car, automatic car. Inside it will be a computer, not general purpose computer, but one which can do the processing, one which can act according to your actions, like increasing the speed, applying the brakes, etc. Even for the toys, you can apply brakes and you can make it turn, etc. So that means the fixed program will be controlling those devices. So they are embedded computers embedded into some other device or inserted into some other device. They may be embedded into your body also. Probably you might have seen in movies. They will insert something, some capsule like thing, which will provide them the location of that particular person. Usually in secret agent movies, you can see such type of embedded being done. Maybe tomorrow your heart may be replaced by artificial heart also. That means it is an embedded computer. Your heart itself is an embedded computer. Though it is not safe, it is not recommended, but it may happen. It may happen. Next, PDA or personal digital assistant. Personal digital assistant. As the name indicates, it is a personal assistant. Personal assistant. So these personal digital assistants are generally used to note down some information. Before smartphones, we had personal digital assistants where we can note down the addresses of persons, emails, etc. Those things can be loaded and you can carry it. It looks similar to the calculator. It looks similar to the calculator. But because of smartphones which have better capabilities than personal digital assistant, and also whatever the capabilities these personal digital assistants have, same capabilities are present in smartphones also. In addition, there are other capabilities also. So people are using smartphones, not personal digital assistants. But they are nevertheless handheld devices which can be used for your assistance. Next, smartphones. Smartphones are handheld devices. As the name indicates, they are phones. Basically, phone means that is generally used for voice transmission. And now they have become smartphones. That means some intelligence is added. Remember, nowadays smartphones can be used both for, though it is a phone, it can be used for voice transmission and also for data transmission. So data includes that audio, normal text data, and also audio, video. So voice, text data, audio, video, etc. can be transmitted and received using the smartphones. So they have some intelligence. That's why they are called as smartphones. That's why they are called as smartphones. One disadvantage of the smartphones is the screen size. Screen size is limited. 6 inches diagonal, 6 inches or maybe 7 inches. 7 inches. But the capacity of these devices or capability of devices increasing day by day. Day by day. So you are able to store large amount of data. You are able to store large amount of data. You can now download the applications and then install the applications also. Smartphone applications are also available. That you can do. In the wearable computer, embedded computer, you cannot download and install them. The type of memory that is used in smartphones is also different. Okay. Next, tablets. Tablets are similar to your smartphones, but the screen size is more, usually 8 inches. Usually 8 inches, and they have generally less processing capability. They have less processing capability. They have less processing capability when compared to the smartphones. Though they are large in size, they have less processing capability. And usually for presentations or for watching videos, you can use tablets. Definitely, bigger screen is useful. Nowadays, volunteers also use these tablets. Head-mounted displays. Head-mounted displays. So again, these are not computers, but head-mounted displays. Something like spectacles. Probably you might have seen in the movies. I think Nitin movie Lie is there. In that, he wears in fact, the actress wears this head-mounted display. They look similar to the your spectacles, but there will be actually two screens. There will be actually two screens separated by some distance. Separated by some distance because our eyes are separated by some distance. Our eyes are separated by some distance. Similarly, there will be two screens in front of each eye. In front of each eye, separated by some distance. Separated by some distance. And this distance actually is responsible for giving you that 3D images. 3D, you can watch 3D images because of the distance. So two images will be displayed, same images actually, two images will be displayed, but one image is displaced. That means it is up, it is say it is displayed here. So say from 1 inch from the eye, the other one is from half inch from the other eye. Because of it, you will get a 3D effect. You will get a 3D effect. might have used it when you are watching robo movie, 3D movies. For 3D movies, you can they are generally used, but head-mounted displays are more sophisticated than those used in the uh, used for watching 3D movies. Okay, they're more sophisticated. So they also have motion control, hand control, and haptic feedback, etc. So because their purpose is to create virtual environment, virtual reality environment, virtual reality environment. The environment doesn't exist, but you will be given the illusion. So there, because your eyes are surrounded by those head-mounted displays, you cannot see. You cannot see this side. You cannot see that side. Then what happens? Then what happens? So you don't know where your hands are, where your body is. So this motion control, hand control, etc. are supported, and also haptic feedback. Haptic feedback means some kind of vibration, which gives you the sense of touching the objects. Whenever you place a glass on a table, uh, actually a vibration indicates that you have placed the glass. Suppose assume that you placed a glass on a table, and you don't get any kind of feedback. So very smooth sponge is there. If you place it, if you don't get feedback, you will just turn and see it whether you have placed it correctly or not. So some kind of feedback is required. That feedback is provided by haptic feedback devices, haptic feedback devices, or haptic feedback facility. Next, thin clients. Thin clients. Thin clients come with a wide range of features. They are basically, you can say, miniature version of desktop computer. Thin client is a miniature version of a desktop computer. They are small computers. They are small computers which look similar to your desktop computer, but they are small. They have less capability. They have less capability, and they come in variety of ways. They come in variety of ways. For example, there may be in the form of CRT monitor. CRT monitor will be there. I hope you know the CRT monitor, or if you are not fortunate to see the CRT monitor, then you can say that there are something like old TVs, but smaller devices when compared to the device CRT monitors. So to the back side of the CRT monitor, some box will be attached, which will provide that processing capability, which will provide the processing capability. So they are called as Intel DOS stations. And nowadays, to the LCD or LED monitor also, a box is attached. If this is the LED monitor, then usually box is attached to this LED monitor. So it provides some capability, but the capability is limited. Next, notebook computers which look similar to your notebook, because of they are usually of the same size as that of the notebook. They are called as notebook computers, and you can say they are the miniature version of a laptop. And they're generally used for presentations. They can do presentations. Usually you cannot use them for typing the programs, for running the programs, etc. Particularly if the program is large, very difficult. It's very difficult. They are generally used for presentations. Next, laptop computer. As the name indicates, they are called as laptop. That means you can place that computer on the top of your lap. You can place your computer. That's why they are called as laptop computers. So you may have separate keyboard and mouse, but usually they are built into the laptop computer itself. A touchpad comes, which can be used as mouse, and also there will be a screen. There will be a keyboard. There will be a keyboard and also display. So keyboard will be there, and then display will be there. Keyboard will be there, and then display will be there. So one other distinguishing characteristic is they have battery support. That means even if the power goes off, it can continue for some time. But the most widely used computers in the office environment or usually in the home environment are also desktop computers. Desktop computers. In the case of desktop computers, there will be what is called as CPU, generally called as CPU, or cabinet will come, and monitor will come. Keyboard and mouse are also usually separate ones. They will come as separate ones. You can have wide keyboard or wireless keyboard also. Similarly, the case with the mouse. Usually they are placed on the top of the top of the desk. That's why they are called as desktop computers. Now workstations, maybe improved versions of desktop computers. They have more processing capability, and they are used to running graphics programs, simulation programs, which take considerable amount of time. Usually we don't use workstations nowadays. Next is server computers. Server computers, as the name indicates, they serve. That's why they are called as server computers. If you take the server computers, they may look similar to your desktop computers. In fact, you can use your own desktop computer as a server also. You can use your desktop computer as a server also. But usually they have high processing capability. That means more better CPU, and then more hard disk and more RAM. They usually come in the form of blade, similar like this only blade, or they come in the form of tower. For individual purposes, you can purchase a tower type, but usually if the organization is large, they come in the form of blade, where they will be inserted into these iron shelves or something which looks similar to your almara. Inside them, number of servers are placed. So they are called as servers because they serve. Client is one which requests, server is one which serves. Client is one which requests, server is one which serves. But because a server may have to serve many clients, so usually server will have high processing capability. Suppose MSET ranks are announced, so they will be available in a computer. So you have many people will try to connect through their smartphones, through the desktop computers, laptop computers, notebook computers, etc. So that means many requests will come at a time. So you have to serve those many requests. Not that you are going to serve all the requests at a time. So okay, if 100 requests at a time, it can serve. There will be multi-threaded programming, etc. Using that, they will serve say 100 requests at a time, at an instant of time. Maybe every 1 second or every 10 seconds, those 100 requests will be processed. So after that, and again 100 requests, etc. But there will be a lot of load on the server. So that's why they have high processing capability. Now, because one server is two servers is not sufficient. Nowadays, we are going for what are called as data centers. We are going for what are called as data centers, where huge numbers of servers are available. Google, Facebook, etc. They maintain their own data centers. So that means huge number of computers will be available at a single location. So if you are more interested, you can watch on YouTube. Data center of Facebook, data center of Google. You can type and watch them. The next computer is supercomputer. They are very high speed computers, high processing capability, high performance capability. So they are generally used for some specific purposes. So usually whenever some task has to be performed which takes considerable amount of time, then you use supercomputers. Usually simulations and weather forecasting and these biology related tasks, genes related tasks, DNA related tasks, they usually consume huge amount of time. So that's why you require computers which have very high processing capability. So such computers are called as supercomputers. Normal users don't use supercomputers. They are used generally in research labs. Next is mainframe computers. So in fact, mainframe computers are the first computers which have come. First computers which have come. So mainframe computers used to occupy a room. They're of room size. They're of room size. So at that time they have high processing capability. But please remember, now a desktop computer has the same capability as that of mainframe computer of 50s, 60s, 70s. So things have changed a lot. But anyhow, a big computer in those days, and which can serve many people, that's why multiple clients were connected. That means you have a mainframe computer, and multiple computers will be connected. Those multiple computers are called as client computers, and you have mainframe computer. So the mainframe computer will have this processor, hard disk, etc. But if you take the client computers, client. So client usually has a limited RAM or hard disk, or sometimes dummy terminals. That means only keyboard and monitor will be there. Whatever you type will go to the mainframe computer, and it will be echoed back onto your screen. Whatever you type goes to the mainframe computer, it will be echoed onto your screen. Terminals, usually dummy terminals. Next, quantum computers, which are based on quantum physics or quantum theory. So computers are electronic devices. They store the data in the form of 1 and 0, whereas in the case of quantum computers, they are stored in the form of quantum bits or qubits. Quantum bits or qubits. So qubits can be 1, 0, or a superposition of both. We're not getting into the details, but they're little different. And they are based on photons, not based on electrons. So they have more capacity, and using quantum computers we can solve some complex problems which we are failing to solve nowadays because of less processing capability. But quantum computers are yet to be realized or yet to be used in on a large scale. They are still at experimental stage, though few quantum computers are available, particularly that of Google. So one important theory of quantum theory, which you may be more interested is, so according to this quantum theory, there is no difference between past, present, and future. No difference in the sense that all exist now. Your past is there, present is there, and future is there. Past, present, and future is there. It's already decided. Maybe that's what we call karma siddhantam. Telugu karma siddhantam. Okay. So even Einstein believed it. But it is not proved. But it is possible. If you are more interested about the relation between present, future, etc., you can study The Secret Book, or you can type just law of attraction, and then see it. Molecular computers, which are based on molecules. So because we are reaching a stage where transistors, we cannot set more number of transistors. So the other kind of technologies are being studied, and molecular computers are based on molecules. They are based on fields like organic chemistry, bioengineering, smart materials, and molecular biology. All these put together may produce on someday molecular computers, which are very small in size but very high processing capability. And it is believed that molecules have the capacity to remember. Molecules have capacity to remember. Molecules have capacity to remember. That principle is also used. That is regarding the types of computers. That is regarding the types of computers. So usually we are more interested usually in the desktop computer and then laptop computer for home use. Desktop computer and laptop computer, they are really computers. Now the other things are probably you may be interested in smartphones, notebook computers, smartphones and notebook computers. Okay, if you go to a large organization, ISRO, etc., you may work on workstations, servers, maybe supercomputers also. Supercomputers also. So the next is generations of computers. Generations of computers. What is that? Generations of computers. Generations of computers means how the computers have evolved over the years. How the computers have evolved over the years. First generation of computers. First generation of computers. Here the time period in different places, time period is different. 1950 to 60. Some mention 1950 to 1965, like that. That's why I have not included the time period. So they usually approximately occupy 1 decade. 1 decade. The first generation of computers. First generation of computers were mainly these mainframe computers. They were bulky. That means they occupy more space equal to that of a room. And the main component of that is vacuum tube, which is similar to your bulb, bulb, maybe zero bulb in your house, the bulb in your house. They were similar to that bulbs, and vacuum tubes are similar to the bulbs. And they use punched cards. Card is there, and punches will be made. Punches means usually holes will be made. Holes will be made. Depending on the number of punches, different characters or different messages are transmitted. Different messages are transmitted. Nowadays, you can use them for secret message transmission, because the number of holes, the pattern of the holes may indicate something which others don't know, which the sender and receiver will know. Punched cards were used to input data. Card readers which can read those punched cards. Devices were there. They were used, and printers were used to print the data. Printers were used to print the data, not the laser printers which are used nowadays, line printer, dot matrix printers, etc. And programming was mainly done using machine language. That means in terms of ones and zeros. We'll study more about these languages later. But for the time being, just note that machine language means language you have to write an entire program in terms of ones and zeros only. Huge number, thousands of ones and zeros. So this ENIAC, UNIVAC, IBM 650 are examples of first generation of computers. Next, second generation of computers. So transistor was the main element. Transistor was the main element that was introduced, but at the initial stages, still the computers were bulky in size. Bulky in size. They were called as mainframes, and as I already told you, multiple users can use those mainframe computers. So multiple clients are connected. That means each client will be used by one user. So multiple users, multiple clients, multiple users. So multi-user environment. Apart from punched cards, card reader and printer, magnetic tapes, something similar to your film, old films tape, or the video cassette tape, something similar to that one. Tapes are available. Tapes were used to store the data. They are basically sequential devices. That means if you want to access the last song, say, you have to go to the first song, second song, etc. You may have to play it, or you may have to roll the reel. Programming was done using assembly language. Instead of ones and zeros, assembly language means symbols were used, like A, B. A represents something, B represents something. Something similar to your mathematics. A, B. So A plus B. So like that. And instructions were usually in the form of add, mult, div for divide, etc. So they convey some information. They're relatively easy to understand when compared to the machine language. Large organizations use those computers, and IBM 7000, Honeywell 400 are the examples. Next, third generation of computers, transistors are there. Transistors are integrated or put inside the integrated circuit. Means IC chip will be there. IC chip will be there. So they will be inserted. Find IC here. Is it visible from? So ICs were there. You can say a chip. I think most of you have seen the ICs. So ICs are there. A huge number of transistors. As I already told you, 3 billion transistors in i7 processor. So they will be there, and that IC will be acting as a processor. Size of computer decreased drastically. Size of computer decreased drastically. Personal computers were introduced, and instead of assembly language, programming languages are used. High-level programming languages. High-level programming language. That means high when compared to the machine. The reason we'll study in detail later. So programming languages like C, C++, Java were used. So initially started with some COBOL, ALGOL, Photon, etc. IBM 360, DEC PDP-8 are examples. Next, fourth generation of computers. This can be considered as current generation computers, which we are using nowadays. They can be called as current generation computers. Current generation computers. Wide range of high-level programming languages. So now we are using huge number of languages. Huge number of languages. And in fact, a computer science student is expected to know at least 4 languages. Speed of computers increased enormously, size decreased drastically, and computers also got connected to a network. They are connected to one another, and internet came, and World Wide Web came, and services are provided. Dell Optiplex 7040, Lenovo Idea Center. These are some of the examples. You can say the current computers which you are using, they are called as 4th generation computers. And then the 5th generation computers. 5th generation computer, this can be considered as computers of the future. Computers of the future. They started supporting voice. You can say they are at the experimental stage. Even nowadays, your smartphone, even to a smartphone can be given. A smartphone can be given a voice command. Google switch on the phone. Google call X and X. So like that you can give messages. So voice based commands can be given instead of typing the programs. Probably you can ask the computer to do something based on voice, and you may not type the programs using programming language. Probably you may do it by just giving the voice, by giving just instructions in the natural language like English or Telugu. And artificial intelligence will be used. There will be quantum computers or molecular computers, and non-procedural languages and natural languages can be used. Non-procedural means we don't tell the procedure. So usually with C, C++, Java, etc., we tell the procedure to be followed. We tell the computer how to solve the problem. What is the problem? How to solve the problem. We'll give the solution. Whereas in the case of non-procedural languages, you will only instruct the computer to solve it. It is up to the computer to find the solution. Okay, there are languages like structured query language, SQL. Structured query language, SQL, which is non-procedural in nature. So that you can use. So these are the generations of computers. So in this session, we studied about types of computers and generations of computers. Types of computers and generations of computers. So it is a continuous process. Computers will be, different types of computers will be added as we go on. Probably in the future, we may not see any explicit computer. Maybe your specs may contain a powerful computer. Your specs itself may contain a powerful computer. You can just press a button, and whatever you require, whether it is audio or video, it will be displayed. It is displayed in the air. Or displayed on the wall. So that is going to happen. It will not take much time. Maybe in 10 years, you can see it with virtual reality head-mounted displays. It is going to happen. And then that those head-mounted displays will not be of that bulky size. Will not be of that bulky size. They will also be, the size of those will be also be reduced. They will be reduced to the size of the spectacles at least. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Best of luck.